something near and dear to my heart right now. Mother's Day just passed and things of that nature, you know. And I was having a conversation with one of the brothers in my circle, right? There's no deadbeats in my circle. It's a beautiful thing. I love my brotherhood. And one of the things we were discussing was that pregnancy is the bridge between heaven and earth. It's the only time both sides meet. So that woman, that mother of your children, your mothers of your nieces and nephews should be protected, should be exalted. And that is a very important thing, regardless of your relationship with her. It's a very important thing. If you're a believer in God, in creation, whatever denomination or religious practice you have, if you believe in a heaven or a higher power, the only time that those two sides meet is through pregnancy.
This is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn, my goodness, and we pass it along. Tune in and listen to us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we give you our story with the Lively Art of Conversation. Hey, you know who it is. This is Dr. Rodney Duckett, your community facilitator, here with the Lively Art of Conversation. We are back, and we've got another tremendous episode right here. I'm telling you, like when I first landed in this area, I was graced by the presence of my guest here. So this goes back almost 20 plus years of knowing this guy and building a relationship. But before we do that, I need to turn this over to my underwriters.
This is Lavina Sabri with So Natural Catering and Bomb A Lemonade, and you're listening to the Lively Art of Conversation.
Hello. This is Rodney Duckett with the Lively Art of Conversation. As we live, we learn, we earn, and we pass that wisdom along. Join us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we bring to you our story. You bring your story, we give you our story, and our story is how we engage in our community. Everybody has a story, and we're waiting to hear your story. So if you're interested, reach out to us at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com.
Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemiallc.com. Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch It Tone LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose, with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchitone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email tonyshelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch it, Tone. You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized.
Hello, this is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Heritage Legacy Curators. You're looking for something for your kids to do this summer? Well, reach out to me at Impact Outreach, IMPAC Outreach @gmail.com. heritage.com, because Heritage Legacy Curators is all about collecting oral history. So if you have stories that you would love to pass down to your kids, or if you have a project that maybe your kids need to do as it relates to oral history, bring those family albums out and we'll sit there and we'll sort through those family albums, so that way we can collect those stories and keep those stories within the family, so that way they can be the next speakers to curate your family reunion. We're back with the lively art of conversation, and I'd like to thank my underwriters for being a part of what we do here. Without my underwriters sponsoring what we do, this show would not exist whatsoever. I mean, this show is based off of them, and I truly, truly in my heart trust the fact that they trust me, and it just makes me feel good because they come to me and say, hey man, I trust you. You're going to do me right. I want you to be successful. And, you know, they write those checks. So I appreciate all my underwriters out there, for Better Watch Your Tone, to Miss Lavina Sabri, to Miss Ramona Thomas, you know, to, New Age Media, not to forget Lance Photography, all those people that just kind of make this show possible. I like to just take this moment just for you guys to say thank you guys very much. We're back here with the lively art of conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. Listen, if you don't know how this show got started, this show got started based over Reverend Roscoe Harrison. He had the Focus Show that was at CTC, and he would always open up the Focus Show and say, this is Reverend Roscoe Harrison with the Focus Show, and you're listening, we're practicing the lively art of conversation, is what he would always say. And I told him if I was ever in a position to use that, I would like to use that. And he told me I have his blessing. So now I'm actually using the lively art of conversation. So, but you know what I do with the lively art of conversation? Every week I tell you to do what? I tell you to pull out your journals. I tell you to pull out your notepads. I tell you to get ready to scribble something down. But I'm going to do it a little bit different this week. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do it different this week. Because my guest is a lyricist. He's a wordsmith. So I feel slightly intimidated to actually put some words out there, and he might be correcting me. So I'm going to let our guest at this time do this. Before I say this, I want to introduce our guest. Our guest is one of the dopest poets out there. I mean, really, hands down. He's been doing it over 20 years. He started in college. He blazed the trail all over the state of Texas. He's blazed this trail all over the United States. You know him, that Friday Flow, that guy, your uno numero one, Shake, the freaking poet, right here in the house.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. So the quote I like to leave you with is, the difference between victors and victims is preparation.
Wow.
Put the mic down right there.
Yes, I'm pausing. Please explain that a little bit, brother. Please.
Okay, well, victims, things happen to. The unknown, the unexpected, it happens because you're not expecting it, because you walk around looking like dog food to a dog, right? You're not paying attention. You may be walking down the street with your face in your phone. You're not being aware of your surroundings. People pick up on that. Mm-hmm. Violators pick up on that. Villains pick up on that. Bad people pick up on that. Those people who prepare themselves for the unknown, right? Something may happen today. I'm going to go to the range and practice how to use my firearm. I'm going to get licensed to carry. I'm going to carry pepper spray or mace or whatever, or something like that. And I'm also going to have it on my keychain in my hand. Like, these are things that people look for when they, and with the state of our country, politically, number one, and just being the America that we've grown to know, violence is not going anywhere. It's getting worse, and everybody's out here looking like they're on the platter. You know, if you're not at the table, you on the menu. Wise man told me. Oh, so, wow. Preparation, preparing for what can, what may, what just might. We don't know what's going to happen, but most people don't even have an idea what to do in those situations. So I think that's what they need to start doing.
Can you say that one more time? Can you say that one more time for the guests that probably missed it, that's tuning in? What was your quote of it?
The difference between a victim and a victor is preparation.
Man. So we always leave them with a question. What question would you like to give the audience today that's listening?
What are you prepared to do when your life depends on it?
Wow. What are you prepared to do when your life depends on it? If you have not put that in your journal right now, that is definitely something to give you something to write for. Like I've always said to you, you've got to prepare for the future. Sometimes we look so many times in the small rearview mirror, we forget that there's a big windshield with our future ahead of us. So we have to have the preparation to be prepared. Guys, we're here right now with Shake the Poet. He's opened up for our quote of the week. And let's do this. Shake, I know a lot about you, but the audience may not know anything about you. They probably just think you're a native here from Texas. Give them a little background. Let's have a flashpoint moment. Give them a background of Shake the Poet.
Okay, well, I was born in Brooklyn, New York during the Carter administration. We'll just leave it at that. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. I wrote my first poem in 1992. That was prior to college. It was I wrote a poem for a girl. I never got the girl, but I did find out that I had a gift for gab. I could write a little bit, and I continued doing that. The first contest I entered for poetry, I can say that was probably college. I came here to Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood area via the military after 9/11, and I did not want to come to Texas. First of all, I'm a New York Giants fan, and I'm a city boy, big town, big city, fast moving, a lot of people, and I didn't know anything about Texas other than what I saw on TV, which was westerns and tumbleweed. I got down here and I found that at the time, Austin, Texas and Killeen, Texas, like Central Texas area was like the mecca for spoken word. And I fell in love with it. So I did my military time, was medically retired, and decided that I wanted to come back here to raise my children and stuff like that and get back into the spoken word community. Yes, every first Friday I do a show called That Friday Flow. The next one is June 6th, 403 East Ansluta Loop, Suite 303 in the great city of Killeen. And outside of spoken word, I have taken the 41 years that I have been in the martial arts. I do training. I train people. I train children. I train for self-defense, not for sport. Self-defense, survival, self-preservation. And that's what prompted the quote about the difference between victors and victims is preparation, because most people think that they're prepared and think they can fight and think they can shoot or whatever. They also think that nothing will happen to them. And every day I find out more and more how untrue that is. So
let's unpack your life a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to Shake the Poet. Now, I remember the genesis of Under One Roof. A little small room where the poets would literally pack in there, and the next poet would hit the mic, the next poet would hit the mic, the next poet would hit the mic. Let's talk about that genesis, Under One Roof, when you guys really kicked this thing off.
Okay, well, Under One Roof African American Bookstore and Culture Shop was started, I believe, in 97, which was a few years before I got here. I don't know the exact day that the poetry started there, but Mr. Babatunde had a poetry night on Fridays, and in the back of the bookstore, by the time I got there, in the back of the bookstore, poets would gather and, just do the thing. He had a nice podium. We autographed the podium. You couldn't use no wordy dirds, right? It was a family-friendly event. And once I discovered the place, I started going. I had my youngest daughter, with me, and she would go sit in the aisle where the children's books were and just play with the books and read the books and look at the pictures while we had our poetry night. And this went on for a few years. And then in 2007, which 10 years after the bookstore opened, 2007, Christopher Michael, John Crow, and Coco Fire, Rashana Rito, if I said her name wrong, rest her soul, they decided to push forward to have Killeen become a national, slam team, and to compete against the rest of the country, including Canada and France. And Christopher Michael had been a slam champion in Austin for 2 years in a row, I believe, and this, I guess, with traveling on the road and, you know, being an outsider, he wanted to do his own thing. So they started a team here. They did all of the prerequisites, whatever we had to do. And me being a neophyte to slam, I did go out for the team. I was Colleen's first slam champion, Grand Slam champion. I want to say that again, Colleen's first Grand Slam champion, as well as the first and only two-time Colleen Grand Slam champion. But that year, our first year, we came in second in the state. I mean, not second in the state, second in the country, including Canada and France when we went to nationals. And, you know, the poetry night, Colleen Poetry Slam ended, you know, bookstore closed, Babatunde moved on. But right now I'm holding down the legacy of Colleen Poetry Slam.
Man, you know, and I say this, you poets are competitive, man. Like, you guys are like cool, y'all dap each other up, man, but y'all like freaking like wolves, man. Like I see how you guys like put your pedigrees out. Like when I say, hey man, yeah, you're a poet, you know, and then you start, yeah, I'm a 2-time slam champion, and you start giving me your pedigrees. Is that what poets do? I mean, like, explain that to me, because that's the one thing that I've always wanted to know. You know, you could be a spoken word artist, but then there's levels to the game. Tell me about the levels to the game.
Yeah, so Poetry Slam is a combat sport, okay? Though we may not be touching physically, you get touched. But yes, that competitive nature, it keeps it fun. When I first started doing it, I did not want to slam. I didn't like the competition or whatever have you, and I got involved in the competition for 2 reasons. One, someone that was in our community kind of made it seem like, oh, myself and my partner, Gift, my brother, that we were scared we weren't good enough. And I was like, well, no, it wasn't. It's not that I'm not good enough. I mean, what y'all doing is easy. You know, that was my attitude. Like, no, what y'all doing is easy. You don't have to be good. You just have to touch the judges. You can be in a room with 500 people. There's only 5 people that judge, 5 judges.
Yeah.
And if they like what I'm saying, if they like how I present it, then, you know, but I do this because I love it, you know, and a lot of poets still have that passion. When you do slamming is a competition, and the egos fly all over the place, right? And some people, there's a bit of arrogance among us, and that competitive spirit and nature and stuff. Only in the city, like, it doesn't bother me, except for like in the city, I have certain people like Christopher Michael and I go way back, right? Yeah. Gift, he's beaten me before. He's beaten me like twice out of 150 times, and he lives on that. That's all he talks about. Oh, I beat Michael Jordan, you know. But even my sister Kaz, her first major slam, she walked away with $1,000 first prize, right? Wow. And I was coaching her. I was in the slam. I came in second. It was $300. So not only does she not let that go because I was the man to beat, you know, I don't need a reminder because I had already spent the money. I was like, man, little sis need a little help, you know. But so it's a thing we're passionate about. You know, some people, in my opinion, some people take it a little too far. Like they've never accomplished anything else in their life. So, oh yeah, I did this, I did that. I only lost to this, I only lost to that. But you know, it's not even honestly when it comes down to poetry. And I like to say this to poets, those who compete now and those aspiring to. It's not really something you can quantify because it is literally based on how the judges feel. So the best performance, the best writing doesn't always win.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can go up there and honestly do a great performance, a great poem, and the judges, one of them is racist, don't like me because I'm black. You know, 2 of them got bad relationships, and I'm a man, and they hate all men at the time, and you know what I'm saying? You know, something like that. I'm down to 2 judges I can win over, you know? Yeah. And you might go up there and I like her dress. I like her shoes. I like such and such. Go ahead, sis. You know, make their little sound effects, and she get all 10s and said nothing. So those type of things can happen. If you ever watch Slam, you'll see, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but there's... Hey, a lot of the guys with muscle, they wear the tight shirts that hug them up right here when they get up on stage, you know. The backpack, like everybody dresses a certain way. Yeah. They, you know, a lot of people because there's an aesthetic, you know. Yes. And they're putting on the total performance, and sometimes people aren't even listening with their ears; they're listening with their eyes, or something like that. So, people get lost in that, but
And I love the slam poetry world. You know, everybody always think I'm a spoken word artist, and I always remind them that I'm not. I just love the world, and I love the wordplay. You guys are such wordsmiths. I mean, you know, yourself, Christopher Michaels, you know, Crow, rest in peace, Rage Almighty, you know, guys like that. You know, my friend from growing up in Oklahoma, Fatodi. Yeah, you know, so, you know, again, shout out to Fatodi if you're listening. You know, I mean, he graced this area before. So it's just like I've been around it so much. I just love to listen to it, you know. And the cool thing about you guys, most of you guys are down to earth. Now I have met some guys that haven't been down to earth before, but majority of the guys are down to earth. So let's do this. You're watching The Lively Art of Conversation, and we'll be back.
Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch Your Tone, LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose, with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchyourtone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email tonyshelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch your tone. You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized. Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemediallc.com.
This is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Heritage Legacy Curators. You're looking for something for your kids to do this summer? Well, reach out to me at Impact Outreach, IMPAC outreach @gmail.com, because Heritage Legacy Curators is all about collecting oral history. So if you have stories that you would love to pass down to your kids, or if you have a project that maybe your kids need to do as it relates to oral history, bring those family albums out and we'll sit there and we'll sort through those family albums, so that way we can collect those stories and keep those stories within the family, so that way they can be the next speakers to curate your family reunion. We're back with The Lively Art of Conversation. If you're interested in doing any type of advertisement, please reach out to me at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com. If you have an event that's coming up, if you have a book that's coming out, anything that's going on that you feel that this platform could be of use to you, please reach out to livelyartofconversation@gmail.com. We are back with Shake, the freaking poet. Okay, and he's here in the studio today. And for you guys that know Shake the Poet, we know Shake the Poet is the bomb when it comes to the actual spoken word. Well, I should not say the bomb, because I think Kaz and Christopher Michaels and then everybody else might be like, man, he ain't the bomb. He ain't the bomb. I'm the bomb.
No, they don't. They love me.
They love you?
And they know better. Quote me on that one.
So I know you're very stratified and layered, and spoken word is just a piece of who you are. For the last 20 years, you've done your best to ensure that people have learned how to keep themselves safe and protected. I know I've used you before several times to work with young ladies that were going out for proms and dates to teach them self-defense. Just recently, I used you to work with some of my young boys in the Heritage Legacy Curators to teach them how to protect themselves. Tell me about that part of Shake that people may not truly understand.
Okay, well, so I've been a practitioner and a student of the martial arts and sciences since 1984. And I've did competitions. I've been to tournaments. I've, boxed for a few years, Newark Athletic Club, Newark Dukas Athletic Club, as I was growing up. And now my whole focus is on actual survival when it comes down to hand-to-hand combat, or weapon usage, not the pretty stuff that you use for, TV or sports. A lot of people think it's about sports. I'm not a big guy, I haven't taken too many L's. And, I come from a place where, fighting is pretty much what people do just because it's hot outside. I come from that time and that place, that era. And now I'm actually thankful for it for two reasons. One, tough skin, toughened up. And two, I'm here without a bunch of holes in me from getting shot up because, it wasn't so much cowardice, except for fighting 6 or 7 people at one time. So that's something that's near and dear to me. A lot of the women in my life or around me that I come in contact with, it seems like there's no such thing as a woman who hasn't dealt with some type of abuse, be it domestic violence, be it, molestation as a youngin or something to that effect. I have one of my sisters was beaten to death, unfortunately. I came back from one of the deployments to Iraq, and my mother told me, she was like, I need to talk to you about your sister. And I was like, which one? And she said, Tawana. And I was like, I want to talk to her big head. I was going for a whole year. She ain't write me back. She ain't email me. She send me nothing. And she said she was on life support for 9 months while I was out there. And, she had to pull the plug on her. So she was a vegetable and things of that nature. So at that point, just training to fight and stuff like that, which I'm a peaceful warrior, so to speak, it became more about teaching people how to defend themselves and making sure that that's at the forefront of their mindset. Sometimes I taught I went to Sam's Club today. Hey, you ever sit in the parking lot at a supermarket, you're finishing up a phone call and you see a woman by herself. She pushes the cart to her car. She takes her bags, she puts them in the trunk, she closes the trunk, and then she pushes the cart back to put the cart away. She never locked her car door. And being that I'm sitting in my car, I can get out and go get in her back seat, sit on the floor or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she can drive me all the way to her house and won't know I'm in the car until her garage door closes and I jump out, surprise. No forced entry, no nothing, right? And this is what I mean by preparation. Yeah. We don't even have that awareness and things of that nature. So being that I've been privy to a lot of things that happen that people don't discuss, from having these one-on-ones with people who are coming to train, like, okay, well, this happened to me, that happened to me. I'm ashamed, so I won't tell the police, or I want this, I want that. I get to sit down and use my imagination and think more, and it helps me to help other people. Hey, this can happen. Yeah. This can happen, and do it while you have time. We not too far away from COVID when we were locked in the house. A lot of people were trapped at home with their abuser.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference. Twist.
Yeah, things can happen, and all you're doing is downloading Roblox for your kids to play on online, which is a danger to them, and being an influencer, and you're not thinking about your safety.
Yeah, it's amazing because the one thing that my daughter took away from it was situational awareness. Mm-hmm. And when you told her to always walk out with somebody leaving from work, you also told her to kind of survey the area. And that's stuff that she still uses in college, Yes. She's got her little brass knucks and all that other different type of stuff. But she's always said, Shake has said, always keep my pattern, know where I'm going, go to my car, look around my car, walk with someone. So these are things that's just, ingrained in her. And then also, with her friends, she's also teaching this to her friends as well too. So that's a big thing. And a lot of times people don't look at that for what it is. And let me tell you something. Shake might be a little dude, but he beat me up on national TV. He threw me all over the dojo. Shout out to Mr. Lemons. We was at the dojo and he threw me all over the dojo. So Shake ain't no joke, man. I was like, hey man, you small, but you flipping and making me tap and scream uncle on TV. People was like, why you over there screaming like a little girl on TV? I was like, because he was treating me like a little girl on TV. Yeah, but the stuff is real, So I advise majority of you guys, if you're a church group, if you are a woman's group, or even if you're just a men's group just dealing with kids, man, look this brother up, because what this brother is doing is teaching us how to protect ourselves. And it's not just to protect ourselves in a physical way. What he's kind of told the boys is, how to escape a situation, how to defensively protect yourself and escape a situation. Sometimes it's not throwing blows, as we know. Sometimes it's evading the situation quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about that. I don't want you to like throw out your whole philosophy, but talk about that.
Well, the first form of self-defense is actually defeat Mutt and Jeff. Walk away if you can, step away. All right. And when I was talking to the young men, first thing I talked about was their reputation in school. Everybody wants to be hard, want to be cool. You want to, be seen in a certain light. And I explained to them a lot of times your parents set you up for failure for this world. We all grew up, a lot of people, hey, if somebody hit you, you hit them back. Don't tell your child that. Number one, it's usually the one that retaliates is the one that get caught and get in trouble. Number two, if somebody hits your child and your child all of a sudden catches narcolepsy, falls asleep after that impact, they just got knocked out. And you don't know what's going to happen while you're unconscious, right? Definitely. So we discussed what the legal definition of assault was. And the legal definition of assault is, a threat of bodily harm. So I'm in this situation. I don't have to let you hit me, allow you to hit me. I do need to know how to calm down and talk to whatever authority figure shows up afterwards. Now, oh, yeah, he shouldn't have. No, I'll calm down. I need to be able to explain the situation. I need to be able to articulate what happened, right? If things go that route. However, the next thing I use is going to be my feet. I need to know how to get out of the way and put myself in an advantageous situation, right? Not all that standing up, standing in your face, getting close because I'm showing off for everybody, things of that nature, how to talk and what to do when these camera phones come up. So, you don't need to be standing there with your fists all balled up, cussing at the person that you're getting ready to have an altercation with, because self-defense is also defending yourself from the consequences, right? Yes. So you don't need to look like, you were the attacker. Now, someone like myself, I haven't had too many of those problems because I'm small, right? So I'm saying, okay, well, he wasn't messing with nobody. The biggest thing on him is a smile. You talk about the kid that writes the poems and he's nice to everybody and gives the hugs, it wasn't him, however, these are the type of things that, we discuss all of that stuff, because knowledge is power. So let's put it to use, and they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. I try to use both.
Yeah, definitely. Years ago when I was a young man, I took Hapkido. And one of the lessons that I learned from Hapkido was not necessarily any maneuvers or defenses or anything. It was a story that was told. And it was a story about a Hapkido master that seen a confrontation, and instead of him walking towards the confrontation, he crossed the street.
Absolutely.
He totally avoided it. And we thought that was the silliest thing in the world. But he kept himself safe, but he also kept his students safe.
Yes.
So I just thought that just stood with me. When you go out looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Yes.
So
and that's one of the problems with today's people is that they look at being seen as a coward or whatever the wrong way. If I avoid the situation, I avoid the things that can happen. I can get in trouble, whether I hurt the person, whether, it don't even get that far or whatever. I shouldn't have been over there. I can get hurt. I don't care how good you fight. I don't care how good you can fight, how big or strong you are, whatever. You don't know if you're going to get stabbed, shot, and get hit in the head with a brick, or run over by a car. You might get hit by oncoming traffic. Anything can happen. Yes. You could have just avoided that situation, but you decided you had to go show that you was a tough guy. Number one problem right there. Yes. You're gambling with your life. And with that gambling, the way I explain it to people, because sometimes, you have to break everything down to the lowest level of understanding.
Yes.
We gamble all the time, right? People, every day, millions of people drink and go get behind the wheel of their car, right? They drive, whatever, they have them a drink. I don't care if you can handle the alcohol or whatever. You leave the bar. You leave a club after having drinks and you get in your car. The crazy thing about that, especially if you look like us, skin tone wise, is that the police know that you just left this place that serves alcohol. So at this time of night, I can pull you. I can wait for you to make a ticketable mistake, or just pull you over because I do have reasonable suspicion, and put you on a breathalyzer. Yeah. Now, a ticket, your car being towed, your license being suspended is the least of the problems when you look like us. Some other things can go wrong, right? Mm-hmm. But every time you drink, you take that risk. Every time you drink a little bit and you get in your car and you drive down the street and somebody else who's being an idiot, alcohol or not, hits you. When the police come, the ambulance come, and you had alcohol in your breath, in your blood, well, the situation was your fault. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Every day you're taking this gamble. Why would you, being that you have all type of gambles all over the place, why would you do that with like a physical altercation at the same time? Yeah. Right? Yeah. We gamble all the time. We gamble with our children, gamble with our loved ones. We gamble with our lives, our livelihood. When it comes down to having to defend yourself or just having a physical altercation, real fighters do not want to fight unless they're in the gym, a dojo, a ring. They're doing it for sport. They're sparring with somebody. We do not, and I know a lot of real fighters. We do not. The reason that there's a discipline, and this especially for people who don't want to put their children into any martial arts because they think violence is the answer, you get a lot of discipline. Most of that discipline comes out because you're not the best, because you know what someone else can do. But man, if I can do this, I don't want it to happen to me, and on top of that, it's like a bridge is built between the aggression, right, and the peaceful side. Like when you're aggressive, they tell you you're a tiger, right? And everybody wants to be the dragon in martial. They want to be the dragon. They want to, be peaceful. They want to flow. They want to, but people we don't think enough. We just do. We do. Yeah. And when it comes down to physical altercations and stuff like that, the problem is too much doing, not enough thinking. Somebody's probably listening in and saying, oh, well, something happened. You don't have time to think. That's why you're supposed to do all the thinking and all the training. The preparation should be done beforehand.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have a plan.
Definitely. And reason why, I have like a fondness for you is because like men of pedigree over peacocks all day long, substance over symbol type thing. And you're the walking personification of that.
Thank you.
So, because there's so many peacocks out there, so many people peacocking out there, and there's not a whole lot of men of pedigree that's out there. So I want to transition and unpack just a little bit more. You're a book author. So
yes,
tell
sir.
me a little bit about that.
Well, I have published 6 books now. 5 of them are poetry, spoken word books. And it was a book on martial arts. The first book of poetry I wrote was called Can Words Birth Voices? If no one is listening. And it's my least favorite, though it was my first. It's my least favorite because I didn't really though I wrote everything in there, I didn't have too much artistic say-so in putting it together. I was in Iraq, in Mosul at the time, and we lost our battalion commander, and along with, we lost a bunch of people at one time. And I was like, man, I need to leave something for my kids if something happened to me. And one of my fellow soldiers, his girlfriend, took my notebooks, and because I don't type very well. Yeah. And, she typed up the poems that she liked. There was like little sticky notes. I like this one, I like this one. So she typed up the poems that she liked, and I submitted it to Author House Publishing, and they had a, design team design the cover, and then they sent me a copy to do the proofreading. And once I proof it, I'm supposed to send it back, and then they would send the print. Well, I get back to Fort Hood, and I'm in the field, and another soldier is walking up toward my LMTV, holding my book up in his hand, like, yeah, you see, you know what this is about. His name was Gary Nichols, so that was my first sale. And I'm looking, I start going through my bag, like, I know he didn't go on my stuff, like, I was pissed.
Yeah.
But he had, I don't know how, I don't know why, but he ordered it off Amazon. They had already sent it to print, so, there's typos and stuff like that in there or whatever, so I don't like it. But then my second book was In the Mind of Madness. The third book was called The Book of Her, which was mostly dedicated and devoted to women. and that title is actually the title of a poem that I have called The Book of Her. And then when my mom passed, I wrote Mama Said, and that one's very personal. I very personal. It's probably my favorite right now because I said some things in there. I said some things. My mother pulled no punches, so I didn't pull punches in there. And then the last book of poetry I did, it's an acronym, CLIT, stands for Cunning Linguist Tone. It's an erotic book, and there's
It is.
yeah, it's an erotic book. Some nice pictures of bodies in art and things of that nature, and some poetry in there. And also I did some interviewed the ladies, so that, play a little 21 questions so that, when people are reading it, because, us as men, we have no idea what women, we just, so it's like, well, let's ask them, let's ask them. Let's go ahead and ask them. So, and I was able to put those things in the book. So that was a nice twist. And then the last book is called Warrior in the Garden. And that is, based on, me as a martial artist.
Yeah. Man, you're listening to Shake the Poet. We'll be back. Hey, we're back with the lively art of conversation. If you just now tuning in, we are with Shake the Poet. So much to unpack with Shake the Poet. Not just a poet, not just a martial artist, not just a community facilitator and book author, veteran. I mean, I can go on. The list just keeps going on and on and on with Shake the Poet. That's why I call him Shake the freaking Poet, because like he does just about everything. But the one thing that I do have always admired about Shake, he's a very humble person, very humble. He's always, when you ask him to do something, he's always there to do it. And I'm thinking the 20 years that I've known him, I think he's probably only told me no a couple of times, and that had something to do with family, being out of town with family. So every time I've asked him to do something, he's been there, and that I do appreciate it. So as we get ready to wind this show down, we live, we learn, we earn. What would you like to pass along to the next generation or the next listener that's out there right now?
Wow. Well, something near and dear to my heart right now. Mother's Day just passed and things of that nature, and I was having a conversation with one of the brothers in my circle, right? There's no deadbeats in my circle. It's a beautiful thing. I love my brotherhood. And one of the things we were discussing was that pregnancy is the bridge between heaven and earth. It's the only time both sides meet. So that woman, that mother, the mother of your children, your mothers of your nieces and nephews, should be protected, should be exalted. And that is a very important thing, regardless of your relationship with her. It's a very important thing. If you're a believer in God, in creation, whatever denomination or religious practice you have, if you believe in a heaven or a higher power, the only time that those two sides meet is through pregnancy. And the only species of human on this planet that we live on that gets pregnant is the woman.
True. Wow.
Stand up for your sisters.
Stand up for your sisters. Stand up for women. That's very, very powerful. So for the young man that's out there right now that probably don't even grasp what you said, how can you break that down a little bit further so they can understand? Because we live in a world where chivalry is dead. We live in a world where we don't honor our women. We live in a world where sometimes our women don't even respect themselves. So how can you convey that over to a brother that may not be grasping that because he sees that as a sign of weakness to open up a door for a woman, or to ensure that a woman is safe when they get home, or ensure that he becomes the foundational principles of his home?
If your mother did not have a healthy relationship with a man and you got to see that, be the type of man you wish your mother had. Before you have a daughter, or before your daughter gets to the age where she's dating, she's married, be the type of man that you would want your daughter to have, that you would want around your daughter, your sister. If you like your sister. If you don't like your sister, that comment might not be for you. Okay? Because there's nothing more manly than protecting. There's nothing more manly than providing. And sometimes that providing is not monetary or anything like that. It's not any other resource. It's providing protection, a safe place, a safe haven, right? To caveat that, I would like to say to the young ladies, the reason that chivalry is dead is because you allow it to be that way. Because your standard is low. Because you like the bad guy, the bad boy. Everything that men do, everything that males do is done because of the female human being. Everything. If she say no, and I don't mean she as you as one individual, when the ladies stop accepting things, they change. If ladies stop talking to dudes that was sagging their pants, showing their drawers, if the lady said, the guys would stop it. And this is straight men, gay men, it doesn't matter. Men do things. We don't do it to impress each other.
Yeah.
We do it to impress women, to get their attention.
Definitely.
Right? A lot of women do neglect or negate the fact that, when men are doing chivalrous things or whatever, people that know me know not to touch a doorknob around me. They know that. Right? They know that. We have little arguments and fights, all right? Like, I know you didn't. But if my mother was here, she'd smack colors off of me, right? I used to be darker than this. It happened one time. But one day I was walking into a little corner store, and guys, he's standing outside smoking. It's got a little black and mild. And on my way out, I hold the door, and the lady, she just like rolled her eyes and walked through. I was going to my car, and he threw his black and mild on the ground and went to ash it out. And he said, "That's why I don't be opening the door for these bees." And I couldn't say anything. I couldn't correct them because I was like, And I've heard I don't like how you moving. Oh, you trying to look at they behinds. I've read on Facebook, people, that's men trying to give you permission to walk through the door. All the dumbest things in the world, right? But it's like, it's out of practice. And it's so out of practice that there are certain things men don't know that they're supposed to do these things, and neither do women. A guy can open a car door, when the woman gets in and the man closes the door, what is she supposed to do? She's supposed to lean across that seat and open his door by the time he gets there, right? Women don't know to do that. And the reason they don't know to do that is because when's the last time they seen a man who actively always opened the door for them or their mama or their grandmother, and they got to see that practice in place to know that's what they need to do. So moms are not telling their daughters, "Hey, baby girl, this is what you do when this happens," because they don't even expect it to happen. So it's not a problem of men not doing anything. It's that we as a people aren't doing anything. We're out of practice. So my challenge to the brotherhood, to the young men coming up is, be a man. What that means, because these women can't define it for you.
Yes.
And the guys out here are not defining it for you. And women do the same thing. Right. And I'm not talking about we have and hey, I'm a wordsmith. I speak on all things. I love all people. But even when we went through this whole thing with the LGBTQ community, and it was, they kept saying, "What is a woman? What is a woman?" Well, the etymology of the word woman means married to man. So woman is the long form of wife. Right. So be a lady. Let's not argue about, this is what makes you, because evidently you weren't really reading. You don't know. You can't put this in Google or Bing, right? Be that. And that will make the changes when we actually start doing what is required of us as people, as human beings, as men and women, as kings and queens, right? And stop trying to be these little slurs that we call forms of endearment, terms of endearment, because that's how we act toward each other.
That's powerful, man. Like, the norm is now the abnorm, and we need to switch all this around where there is a conditional trait where this becomes the norm.
Yes.
It becomes the norm to be a gentleman. Gentleman is not a weak thing. It's
At
never
all.
been a weak thing. Believe it or not, there was times back in the day where a woman would say, such a gentleman. And it'd be guys would be such a lady. You know, we've gotten away from that norm based off of what we see, and what we see, we crystallize that, and that becomes our new manifestation.
Yes,
Guys, we are here with Shake the Poet. And as I begin to wrap this thing up, we live, we learn, we earn, we pass it along. And I like to thank Shake for being here today. We got something big that's coming up in a couple of weeks. You want to tell them about the Poetry Slam that's going to be coming out August the 23rd. What do they expect to get out of that Poetry Slam?
Well, on August the 23rd, we have the Clean Poetry Slam Rhythm and Vibe Showcase. And this is where that $1,000 first prize that Kaz took from me takes place, right? But Kaz, along with Miss Courtney Rose, will be co-hosting with me. And we're going to have poets from, I would say all over the state, but sometimes we get people from out of the state travel in. We've had somebody come from out of the country before, came from Africa to compete in this slam. It's going to be live. There's live entertainment before the slam. There's great music, and these poets, they're going at it. And it's not just, like open mic type thing. I'm talking about they're going at it because, one, you get the bragging rights. Two, the pay is nice. I'm going to be there. I think you should be there too.
Yeah. This is our fourth or fifth. I can't. I lose.
I believe it's the fifth.
The fifth. Yeah, this is the fifth time we're doing this, and like I said, I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. Well, not really, because my feet hurt at the end of the day. It's a lot of running around, man.
Yes.
It's a lot of running around, but it's good because people come, they see it, they enjoy it, and when they leave out, they say, "Man, this is so good. This is so wonderful," and they love the competitive nature of it. And it be getting intense in there. Intense in there. People be looking at each other like Ali and Frazier across the room. I mean, like, it's crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, we got Shake the Poet here. This is Lively Art of Conversation. If you guys would like to do any ads with me or be on this show, please reach out to me at Lively Art of Conversation. And hey, check it out. Next week, we got the lady that beat him. Kaz, poetess, will be in the house. Okay? And I'm pretty sure she's going to carry this conversation forward. And she's going to probably be like, nah, the whole time that she's doing it to Shake the Poet. But we got Kaz, poetess. And she will be on for the next show. And we hear about her life as a spoken word artist. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, the community facilitator, and the very tired Dr. Rodney Duckett, signing off for the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn, and we pass it along.
Peace and blessings.